Hi guys, this is Kayong and welcome to session number 3 in the Anger Mastery video course. Today we'll be looking at a special technique known as cognitive therapy, which deals with our thoughts and perceptions and how we can use this to control our anger. So if you want to control anger, the first thing you have to do is control your thoughts and perceptions towards external events. As I mentioned earlier, external events could be something like being cut off in traffic or your boss scolding you unreasonably. So, in other words, what do these events mean to you? For example, let's say you were stood up by a client for a sales appointment. You called him and he apologized because there was something important which could not be avoided. Right now you have two choices. Choice number 1, be angry, moan and lament on how you've been stood up and badmouth him throughout the whole day. Choice number 2, accept and understand that something terrible might have happened to him or his family, and be thankful that your life is safe and sound. You see, it's how we perceive our external events that ultimately leads to our responses. Here are some simple formulas that we can look at. E equals to O, events equals to outcome. This is also known as the victim mindset, where people with the victim mindset believe that whatever happens is their bad luck. You know, it's not their fault, it's just something that happens to them and there's nothing they can do about it. The creator chooses the E plus R equals to O formula. Events plus response equals to outcome. And of course, the response here meaning choosing the more empowering response. You see, the key to being happy and controlling anger is to choose the empowering thoughts to events that happen. The event is essentially neutral, but our responses, in other words, our thoughts and perceptions, will ultimately determine our well-being and level of happiness. Admittedly, whenever we are angry, it's very difficult to think rationally or choose more empowering thoughts. When this happens, we have to step back from the situation to try to calm ourselves down. You can do this by going to do something else, maybe go for a jog, or do some cooking, or maybe just count to 10 slowly and breathe slowly. Once you've cooled down, think again. You might see things differently. So in other words, when angry, step back. Also, everyone has their own perception of events because they see things differently due to their genetic differences and social upbringing. So a good way to find an empowering thought is to try to look at things through the eyes of other people. See things from another person's perspective. Well, let's try and change our perception of things and see things more openly, shall we? I hope you have benefited from this session as much as I have. In the next session, we'll look at problem solving and how we can use this technique to manage our anger.